Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Thank you for coming back to another episode of Scattered Brilliancy. My name is Travis, and today we're going to do a story time. And oh my God, I am already hot and I just started. All right. Oh gosh. All right. So we're going to do a story time. I just got off work and I was thinking about this on my way home, and I was like, I should totally talk about this in the video. Now, I'll go ahead and preface and say the story is not supposed to be funny, but it's funny even though it's not supposed to be funny. Like, when it was happening, I ain't find nothing funny about it, but now thinking back on it, it's funny, even though the reason why it happened is not funny. So we're gonna take it back 12, 13 years, a while ago, and I was still in high school. Background: I have two older half brothers. My dad had two sons before he met my mom, married her, and had myself and my sister. So I have two older half brothers. So this story is about not the oldest one, but the one after that. So that brother had, at that time, he had one son. I had found out that my brother's son's mother, because they were never married, so she wasn't like a sister-in-law or anything like that. So my brother's son's mother passed away in a car accident. And so, I didn't know her. I don't really remember anything about her aside from her name and kind of what she looks like. I think I've seen pictures of myself as a baby with her, but I didn't have any memories of her, and I still don't, obviously. Well, I guess I wouldn't have additional ones, but I don't have any memories of her. But, we had all decided we were going to go to the funeral to support my nephew. My brother and her were not together anymore. I don't know how many years they had been split up, because she had married and, they had both moved on with their lives. So they weren't together, and, we were going to go to the funeral to support my nephew. So the funeral, for number one, was not at a church. The funeral was at a funeral home. Now, this was the first and the last funeral that I've ever gone to at a funeral home. Because I don't even go to funerals like that anyway, because funerals are just sad, and I'd rather remember you the way that you were. And if I don't have to go to the funeral, I'm not going to go to the funeral. It's that simple. So myself, my dad, and my sister is 7 years younger than me. Okay, so I'm in high school at this time. She's like elementary school. We ride to the funeral home. My mom's going to meet us there from work, because it was during the week. I got out of school for this foolishness. So, we go to the funeral. I don't know if I knew ahead of time it was at a funeral home, but we pull up, and I'm like, what in the world is this? Okay. And my dad's like, it's at a funeral home. It's not, all funerals are not at churches. Some are at funeral homes. I'm like, okay. So we go in. My brother, his mother, and my nephew, they're sitting on the front row. Sad. So we go to the front. You go up and you greet the family. That's what you're supposed to do. I was told prior to getting in that she was really messed up from the accident, so it was going to be a closed casket funeral, and there was like a collage in the front. So I remember the front. I don't know if this is going to do left and right correctly, but you had the front of the funeral home. You had the casket. To the casket's right was the collage. All the way over to the right was a door that leads back to like offices in the back of the funeral home. Okay, so the funeral home was pretty much kind of set up like a church. It had pews, like pews on the side, and a middle section of pews, and two aisles. Caskets in the front, door that leads to the back is to the front right. Okay, I'm just trying to paint the picture so y'all understand what's going on here. So we go up the left aisle, cross over, speak to the family, and we come and sit in our seats probably like 5 rows from the back, because it's not a big place. In the front, not sitting with my nephew and my brother and them, there's a guy, and he's like, he's grieving hard. Like, he's not hysterical, but he's like as hysterical as you could be mute. Like, he wasn't mute, like he wasn't deaf or nothing, but he just wasn't making any noise, but you could tell he was like grieving hard. So we find out that is the woman's who passed. That's her husband. So I'm like, okay, well, that makes sense. He's really upset. And this is where everything takes a turn for the worst. So, we're sitting and, we're just waiting on the funeral to start, He's still up there, just distraught or whatever. He gets up and he walks to that back area what I was talking about. So with that right area in the front, he walks back there to where those offices are. He's still distraught. After he goes back there, slowly more people start going back there. Nobody was going back there prior to him going back there. Pastor has not come out or anything. So maybe I'm like, maybe he's going to ask the pastor when we start and something like that, because this is already past time for this funeral to start. So he goes back there, then people are slowly going back there. Okay, whatever. And side note, I started to get this feeling when I got in there. For number one, because it was in a building and it wasn't in a church. I wasn't used to that. But I just started to get this feeling in my body like something isn't right. Something is not right here. Now, as an adult, I know what that feeling is, and I know to leave when I feel that feeling. But I was like, just something in the grits ain't clean, you know, like something just don't feel right. So we're sitting, and all of a sudden, this woman, one of the women who went back to the back, she comes back from the back, passes her seat. She doesn't go back to her seat. She's coming, and everything she's saying is as she's going out the building. He killed her. 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 And I'm like, who killed who? Like, what? It's on the west side of town. The hood is where this funeral home is. So I'm already uncomfortable. And she's talking about he killed her. And I'm like, who killed who? And I'm just like, she walks back out, and I'm like, okay. And then, all of a sudden, that whole group of people that were in the back come booking from the back, out the back of the funeral home. So they come running from that right side. They come running up the aisles, hollering, screaming, like it is just chaos out of nowhere. Just, oh! And then somebody yells out, he got a gun! Everybody drops. My dad and myself, we drop to the floor because the lights go out in the funeral home as this is happening. So you got people running from the back, people hollering and screaming. Then somebody yells out, he got a gun, and we on the west side and we in the hood. Oh no. You know, black people can't ever just have a regular funeral. Why? And you know, it's that thing when you see people running, you don't ask questions. You just run with them. You find out when you get to safety while we're running. So they're running, but we in the middle of the pew, and we just dropped to the floor, and I'm looking down at my daddy, and my daddy looking back at me, and he's like, we got to get out of here. And I'm like, okay. So everybody in the funeral home runs for the door. Everybody just leaves their pew, runs for the door. Everybody is running. As I'm running out the building, I pass a woman laying on the ground, a big woman. Apparently, her feet couldn't keep up with her body moving, trying to get out the building. Maybe she was moving faster than she should have, and she fell. And this is what she was doing on the ground. Just go. Just go. Just go. Just go. Just go. So me, already like feeling like I didn't want to come in the first place, and all this is going on, and I'm just like, I step over her and I keep going, don't ask no questions. So we finally get out the funeral home because it just seemed like it took forever for us to get from our seat to the outside. Get outside, and I'm like, where is Alexis? My sister, where is Alexis? Look up, and Alexis is way on the other side of the parking lot, looking at us. Ma'am, how did you get over there that fast? She must have left the funeral home before everybody, like before all the pandemonium. When the lights went out, that must have been when she went booking for the door. She was gone. She was on the other end of the parking lot looking back at us like, what y'all doing? So we get outside, and it is just pure chaos. People are still running and screaming. The fire department, the police are pulling up. You can hear the sirens coming. They coming out of coming from all directions trying to get there. Then you see this guy come around the outside side of the building, bloody, clothes ripped up, like you could tell he'd been fighting, and people are trying to like hold him because he's like trying to go get somebody. Turns out that was the ex-husband who was bloody and messed up. I call my mom. I'm like, Mama, don't you come out here. They got guns. They out here fighting. It's crazy. Don't come out here. My mama saved that voicemail for so long, 'cause I think she's gonna try to use it on me like as like blackmail or something, because like I was so frantic in that phone call, because I was like, Mama, you do not come out here. These niggas is out here acting crazy. Oh God. It was one of the most scariest things I've ever been through in my life. So this is what happened. Turns out the reason why the husband was all bloody and everything, that's the he that the woman was referring to. They were saying he killed the woman who had died. The reason why that happened was because we later found out, because they ended up having the funeral only for her kids and like a few other people. They made everybody else leave and don't come back, and the pastor just had the funeral for just like 10 people. Apparently, this is all allegedly, because I never went back to find if it was true, but this is the story we were given afterwards. She was sleeping around on her husband, and her husband found out about it. Her husband started following, like I guess he had been like following her, going to see this guy or whatever, and he followed her this particular day, and he like followed them. Like I guess she went and picked him up. I don't remember exactly what happened, but either way, her and the Mr. I guess were on the highway, and he was behind them, tailgating them. Then I was told he shot into the back of her car. Now it don't really make much sense. I'm like, well, if he shot into her car, how come he didn't go to jail immediately? I don't know, but this is what I was told at the time. That he shot into the car. He did something that caused her to lose control, because I believe she was driving. She lost control of the car, smashed into a tree, and was ejected from the vehicle because she didn't have a seatbelt on. So that's why she was so messed up, and that's how she died. So that's why they say he killed her. Now, he got a gun part, I don't know what that was about. I never stayed to find out who it was that had the gun at the funeral. So, in a sense, it's kind of like, okay, I can get where y'all say he killed her, because he definitely was responsible for the accident. He did get arrested that day at the funeral home. But then it's at the same time, if she was messing with somebody who wasn't her husband, did she cause her own death? I don't know. Just thoughts. But that was my murder at a funeral story, because it was just like, y'all, that big woman on the ground was just hilarious. Freaking hilarious. Y'all let me know if y'all ever been to a crazy funeral or had some crazy stuff happen at a funeral. Let me know down in the comments. And make sure you rate, like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll be talking to y'all later. Bye.